but he left.
Okay.
Okay, so can we see plan as well?
No. Look at you.
Leave go about that. Can you topic?
Oh yeah.
Distinguished Senator, we're happy to hold this session this afternoon, and we thank you for coming. The session is about the Remo response to the issue of state creation in the East. And I'm happy to welcome you all. We wish our delegation every success. I will pray that our desire for a state of our own in Remo will come true. Amen. In Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very much.
Are we on? Are we on? Cabeces, distinguished Excellency and Senator combined. Our creme de la creme in Remaland, I want to welcome you to this event, and the gentlemen and ladies of the press. Okay. Let me start by apologizing very profusely. This event was slated for 1 o'clock, but as fate will have it, the expressway was chock-a-block, and some dignitaries we were expecting were there, and they are just arriving, so that accounted for us starting almost 1.5 hours after schedule. That said, you all have a copy of this, I think, and you all know why we are here. We are here in furtherance to our pursuit for creation of a state from the existing Ogun State, and our position is that we should have Remo State and we should have the capital in Shagamu. We forwarded memorandum and we have had reactions. And having had reactions, it becomes incumbent on us to set the record straight so that we do not misinform the public. So the purpose of this gathering is for Remo to set the record straight and to challenge anybody that has a counter. So I proceed. The heading is Remo people remain resolute with their demand for creation of Remo State. This press statement, which purposes to set the record straight, is released by a Remo Committee on State Creation at the instance of His Royal Majesty the Akadwa Paramount Ruler of Remo Land, Oba Dr. Babatunde Adewale Ajayi, CFR, BLLM, FCA, LBI, all Remo national rulers, Remo elected executives, high chiefs, pensioners, and all other stakeholders of Remo Land. And what's the background? Remo has in memorandum demanded for creation of a state from the existing Ogun State to be named Remo State and its capital is Shagamu, Remo Land. This demand is predicated upon the realities and the distinct ethnic identity of Remo people, who are Republican in nature and never conqueror. Furthermore, a state is meant to be created not out of primordial sentiment, but essentially inter alia by economic viability, infrastructure, possibility for growth, landmass, and consensus for the people living in the areas being proposed to be created into a state. And without saying it, Remo ticks all the boxes of this requirement. Nevertheless, with a view to avoiding past pitfalls in arriving at the demands contained in the latest memorandum, a well-articulated review was carried out to ascertain the following. We have to review the situation. Why have we been faltering all this while? So, in our review, we carried out the following. One, what had led to our province losing out all the 10 states were being created in Nigeria? Why did Remo submit a different memorandum from that of the Jebus in 2009? The import of the documents signed by the two paramount rulers in Ogun East in 2020 and 2024. And why have the two divisions in Ogun State, being Ijebu and Remo, gone ahead to submit separate memoranda for creation of state from existing Ogun State, this time around again. Now, findings on this review. A, that is why have we been losing out? Why we are continuing to complain that our province lost out when states were being created at different locations? What we have not made a clean breast of is that our Achilles heel remains inability to agree on the name of the proposed state and where the capital should be cited, even to date. On reflection, Remo people were in 1894 with Lagos Protectorate, and simultaneously, the Ijebus were in Abeokuta province. All the ethnic groupings retain their identities and distinctiveness to date, and this may explain how strongly people won't wish away their identity at the altar of any merger or amalgamation. By the same token, in the southwest of Nigeria, only where there is no ethnic diversity would the name of the state and the capital be the same, like Ekiti State. Clearly, this is all the situation with our province in Ogun East. When Abeokuta province was being made a state, cognizant of the ethnic diversity, the state was neither made Abeokuta nor Egba State. It was made Ogun State, and the purpose was not to allow any clan in the state to lord it over other clans. Ipso facto, concession had always been given to other federative units of the area that a state is being created, and the following instances are self-explanatory. Or your state, you have Ibadan as the capital, Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti, you have Ado-Ekiti because all of them are Ekitis. Ogun State, we have Abeokuta because we have diverse ethnicity there. Ondo, we have Akure. Osun, we have Oshogbo. Lagos, Ikeja. So why should Ogun State be different? And findings on why Remo submitted a different memorandum in 2009. It will be recalled that in 2009, during another push for creation of state, spirited efforts were made to forge a common memorandum with the Ijebu's counterpart in our province. But the Ijebu's reneged on what was agreed by the Joint Committee of both Remo and the Ijebu divisions, in consequence of which the Ijebu's went ahead and submitted a memorandum of creation of state and proposed the name as Ijebu State and the capital Ijebu Ode. Simultaneously, Remo equally submitted a different memorandum in which a request was made for creation of state with the capital in Kenne and named as Remo Ijebu State. Because of these dissensions, our province lost out once again. Now see, position of Remo on the documents endorsed by the Abuja and Akaribo. Given the hype being given to the documents signed by the Abuja and paramount ruler of Ijebu land and Akaribo and paramount ruler of Remo land, we feel obliged to clarify matters on the documents to wit. Whereas creation of state is far beyond mere endorsement of two paramount rulers, the documents were endorsed offhandedly in difference to the Abuja when there was no traction per se on state creation. Remo as a people were duly notified about the no-cost nature of the documents, as it would, in the event of submitting a memorandum for creation of state in future, invariably be subject to the sentimental and long-held standpoint evaluation of Remo people on state creation, both of which predated almost a century past. This is having regard to the republican nature of the people of Remo land, and never been subject to autocratic rule. This is the position of Remo people on the documents, no more, no less. Furthermore, a state is meant to be created not out of primordial sentiment, but essentially, sorry, I'm reading something different. 14. 15, yeah, sorry. Okay. So, what led to the Ijebus and Remo submitting two separate memorandums this time around? The answer is very straightforward. It is the same disagreement that had dogged the part of our province demand for creation of state that has reared its ugly head yet again. The two divisions have exhibited their distinct features, and they have submitted two different memoranda to the National Assembly. The plausible reason for this on the part of Remo is that Remo identity was handed down by Remo's heroes past. Even before Matide inquiry authenticated Remo's distinctiveness in 1997. This Remo identity cannot be toyed with, given what Remo experienced in the past when they were erroneously categorized as part of the Ijebus. And because of this, Remo shall not be part of the subjugation of his identity, and under any guise or excuse will Remo allow the name Remo to be subsumed in the name of the proposed state. It is instructive as well as noteworthy that Remo's root is not a matter of imagination or speculation. Remo people of Ilefe origin in the Remo quarters, and we still maintain to date fraternal relationship with our root. Further to this Remo identity, the unprecedented and exponential growth witnessed in Remo in the last 40 years and still being witnessed daily because of the busting on offside at the scenes by his Lagos State neighbor, makes Shagamu and Remo to stand tall head and shoulders among other contemporary towns in Ogun State for citing as capital of the proposed state in a free and unbiased evaluation of the request for creation of state. And without standing immodest, no town in Ogun State rivals Shagamu and Remo in terms of infrastructure, and readiness to serve as a state capital. Remo's economic development, driven by industrial growth and robust transport links to major cities in southwest Nigeria, sets it apart from others. The existing airport in Remo Central, established for both cargo, local and international flights, will ease travel burdens of people from surrounding states who currently rely on Lagos Airport. Furthermore, Remo Division's high revenue generation capacity, already a leading contributor to Ogun State internal generated revenue, ensures that a future Remo State will be financially sustainable, reducing dependence on federal allocations. Notwithstanding the foregoing, Remo people harbor no ill feelings against the Ijebus, and we continue to esteem His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Sikiru Kaude Adetono, GCON, the Awujale and Prime Ruler of Remo Land. Equally, the relationship we have with our brothers and sisters of Ijebu land shall remain unaffected, state creation or not. By the same token, we wish the Ijebus Godspeed in their quest for state creation without Remo land. Most as we insist, Remo shall not be part of any arrangement where the name Remo should be subsumed for any reason whatsoever. I want to thank you and God bless. Thank you. Thank you very much. That sum up the portion of Remo land. We have our distinguished senator here, former governor of Remo State, representing both is somebody wearing two caps? So I don't know whether I should speak immediately or we should ask for comments from the house. Comments, please. Comments and questions, please. Yes, sir. Kabezio.
The committee, Remo Committee on Creation of States, I just want to comment. It's no question. I just want to commend the efforts and the brilliant job done by this committee. Decided speaking, if I know in another, I would off my heart. So personally, to me, you have done well. The people that Remo should be proud of. So you have never disappointed us. Most especially, I think in 2009 also, we put in everything to make sure that we are not subdued by the Ijebus. And I think about it, I cannot take it. Think about Aberuja. You just come up with Papa Mininde, or don't do the Papa any. Thank you once again. But one thing by now, we also agree to that. Nobody Remo Ijebu State. Key capital one Ijebu, we agreed. But Remo State, they decided to disagree with us. Capital Ijebu, the name of the state Ijebu. Ijebu State. Bob and she, I am Jemiji Nabada, on a Jushu. Once again,
thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Kabisi. Thank you. Yeah, bye-bye. Any issue? I don't want it. Yes, okay. After their comments, I think the media should ask questions after the Kabisi. The media, because this is a press release, and we should expect the media to ask questions, please. Kabisi, after you, sir.
In Remo Land for us. Because all what you have been doing since I know you is what you are doing a wonderful job. whether you are being informed before or just now. You know already what you are going to say. And all this you have put into place to come on and inform us today is is already done at the grace of God. And we will continue to pray for you that the wisdom the God has already bestowed on you continue to be renewed into your grace at the grace of God. And our mission at the grace of God come to reality. So we thank every committee for all what they have been doing, which we think that we don't even know where we are going. But today, we have seen the light. God will help us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kabesi. Before we call the media, can we ask all the... I'm just the master servant. We have a very powerful committee member. We have a powerful committee made up of distinguished senators. Senator Dujin, can you please be upstanding? Otumba Lawash Chula, please be upstanding for recognition, please. Sir Shonaman, please be upstanding. Honorable John Obafemi, please be upstanding. Mr. Sheson Ogun, be upstanding. Any other committee member here, please? So, Kabesi, these are the people doing the... Prince Abdul Abayomi, please, apologies. You are just like a number, so I'm sorry. So, Kabesi, these are the people doing the great job. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, the press, can we have your questions, please, or comment? Yep.
Good morning, sirs. I'm Matthew Shobu from Remo State Television.
Yeah.
Having listened to the arguments from both sides, that is, from the sides of the Jebus and the Remos, what I believe is standing between the two is the issue of the compromise. That is, what is one ready to concede for the other. The Jebus are saying they want Jebu State with capital in the Jebu, while the Remos are saying they want the Remo State with capital in Shagamu. We all know that it may be almost impossible for two states to be created from a state, from the current or from the recent or from the looks of things as we can see it on the ground already. My question now is, to what extent is Remo ready to shift ground? That is, what is Remo ready to concede to ensure that on the long run, the efforts that the two sides are making do not go into futility? That is, we are able to achieve the dream of having a state created from the current Ogun State. Is Remo ready to shift ground in the areas of where the capital will be located, or what other things will Remo concede if Remo is ready to shift ground as far as the location of the capital is concerned? This is what I think we may like to know from the extraterrestrial. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, any other question, please? Yeah, thank you. What's your name?
Sorry, can I say the name again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like my colleague said, we're preview to a part of the press conference of the State. Fortunately, we have the privilege to be here again today. My question I want to ask from Excellency. I asked all the time, from Excellency. We're in between the two borders. Is it possible to bring them together to reconcile them so that this laudable ambition will not go, since it has been an agitation for decades now?
Yeah. The same question. Are you saying are you saying that okay, I wasn't sure. I think that question was directed at you, sir. Any other questions, please? Pardon? Okay. Excellency, I think the ball is in your court now.
Once again, let me appreciate our royal fathers, our own Ashwaju and Remo. And of course, let me also commend all the members of this committee. Our opinion is that we have done a very good job representing accurately the views of the community where we come from. And to that extent, let me repeat again that, and it's exactly what I said when I was in the meeting, that if people have the right for self-determination, and this right is unquestionable. So what you have done here is exercising the right to self-determination. In the same way, our people in the Jebu side have also agitated what you can call their own right to self-determination. I think going forward, the question that we have to answer, and which they have to answer, is that, is it desirable to have a new state out of this senatorial district? If the answer is yes, and from the preponderance of opinion that I've been hearing, even here, the answer appears to be yes. What I think is left is what I can call nomenclature. And I'm happy at the conclusion of this press conference, because what I had always said is that one mistake we must not make is to turn otherwise friends, family people into unnecessary enemies. And just like you said conclusively, state or no state, the friendship which we have created in our community must not be jeopardized. I do not know what to say, but I must say to all of us here that the strength we have in the present of present Ogun State is because the Remo and the Jebus are together. Between the two of us, we hold 9 out of the 20 local governments in Ogun State, which effectively means, and if you remember, the history of the emergence of governors in this state, whereupon it is by delegates. Effectively, it means that once the people of Ogun State bring their delegates, they are already close to 50%. Ogun East, once they bring out their delegates, they are already close to 50%, which means that a governor cannot be taken without Ogun East. And I must say to you, our friends and brothers from the other side will be so excited the day they feel that these two people are not together again. So I'm just going to appeal, just have appealed on the other side to all of us, that what we need to do, like our media friends suggested, is to find ways and ways of compromise. And I can assure you, I, as your senator, am working assiduously to ensure that there is compromise. Let me assure you that there is nothing that you have demanded that you don't have the right to demand. And you have allayed and clearly made your points. But having said that, I am still going to say that the biggest thing we need to do is for us to find ways and means of compromise. I'm sure from the tone of what I'm even saying here, there's already compromise. And listening to KBC here, there's compromise. And I can assure you, we will also get the people on the other side to make compromise. Because that's where I stand. And by the grace of God, we'll achieve it. The only thing I also want to say to you is this, and I've been working assiduously, because it is only in an environment of peace that we can make progress. I'm a student of history, and I've carefully studied and appreciated the policies of Nigeria. And I'm aware that little thing can spark a crisis of unprecedented proportion. We have a duty to ensure that it doesn't happen. And I can assure you that is what I stand for. I cannot see how anybody can subjugate Remo land. It has not happened in the past. The parameters are clear. It cannot happen. And I don't see how it's going to happen. Since the creation of Remo State, how many years have Ijebu become? 4 years and 3 months. What of Remo land here? For 8 years, God gave us the vice president. For 8 years, we had the governorship. We've had it for 4 years, making 12. Another 4 is coming, making 16. The content that is probably going on, the one that is going on that will come, is not between Ijebu and Yewa. It's between Remo and Yewa again. That is surely going to have the ticket on PDP. Because I don't see any person who is going to wrestle that ticket from him in PDP. And coming to APC, I haven't seen any other strong person from Ogun East who is strongly in the field. The person who is strongly in the field is from Ogun West. So the chances are that even this election that is coming is going to be between Remo and Yewa. So I just feel that when you look at it from the past, from the present, and from the future, there's no cause for concern. God has created our people to be strong. The person who has been the best president we never had is from Remo. But what is very important, which we must not forget, is that at each and every turn, we have always worked together. And it's in that unity, that's what the other people are fearing us. Once there is division like this, then we're conquered. And I just think that whatever we do, say, or behave, we must not forget this. Mr. Chairman, thank you very, very much. You've done very, very well. Rest assured that I have a responsibility. Trust me, I will do what needs to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency. I think your comment, your answer, both have thrown greater light to the discussion. Any other questions, please? Mr. Matthew Shoumi, has your question been answered? It has been answered. Pardon? Your question. Let me, has your question been answered? Huh? Okay, the first question really, let me quickly answer that question. Well, what is going for this part of the country or part of Ogun State is that we are very, very Republican in nature. We always consult, and I can assure you, when we get to that bill, we will cross it. We will cross it upon consultation. But if anybody stands up there and says something, that is very unlike Remo. All right, we came about this small, even the memorandum. We came about it after due consultation. We came about this release after due consultation. The question you have asked, that will Remo ready to shift? Oh, that's certainly. When we get to that bridge, we will consult again and we will cross it appropriately. I think that should answer your question. Thank you very much. Any? Yeah. So, bearing no other question, please. Yeah. Ashwaju, it's your turn. It's your turn to. You will speak. Lemon will speak. Then, yeah.
Your Excellency, former governor of our great state, and currently the distinguished senator of Shagamu East Secretarial District. Chairman of this occasion, and indeed the entire members of the committee, let me make a correction that in 2009, like I said at the last meeting, called by the Vice Royal Majesty about the caliber of Roma and Baron and the Oba's Palace. But I was involved 2006 to 2009. Not only involved, I was actively participant. So, and I said it at that very particular moment, that all the committees set up at that time, and the conclusion reached at that time, was actually thwarted by desire to have Shagamu State and also Shagamu as capital. Despite the fact that the committee then thought that's both sides, both the Shagamu side as well as the Remo side, recommended at the worst situation we can have the Shagamu State, and let's have Shagamu as capital, or at worst situation Ikenne as capital. Yeah. That was our conclusion. And that was document that we wrote, the memorandum that we concluded upon, and we submitted to the Abuja through Professor Adedeji, who was then the Ashwaji of Shagamu side, and Adebanjo, who was then former commissioner former Minister of Information. And that was submitted then to His Royal Majesty of the Hotel of Jebulan, Kabaka at the time, GCON. But unfortunately, that was truncated because His Royal Majesty's wisdom insisted that we should have, that he did not give his own team any authority or any mandate
to
negotiate any shift in both the name of the state as well as the name of the capital. And because of that, we had a relationship with board. Salano Jerry was there, the Bishop Fala was there, and I also was there. And that led
what I could call a good luck for the Ekiti State. Abacha was then on the state.
Oh, yes.
So he then said, well, we are not serious. Because then at a particular time, my good friend, General Dia, came with a compromise to the then Abacha, the president, I don't know what I call it now, head of state, who was projecting to be the next president of Nigeria at that time. And okay, his own compromise was to submit to Udobolu as capital rather than do senator. So that inflated the then head of state, Abacha. So he just crossed Shagamu State and then put Ekiti State, and that's how Ekiti became. They didn't even ask for it. We that were asking for it, we didn't get it because at the end of the day, we submitted the memorandum was right, and then later Jebode went there also submitted their own memorandum insisting on that same mandate that it has to be Jebode as Shagamu State as well as capital as Jebode. So that's how it was that. So that was my comment at the last meeting when we had at Obas Palace. That the only recommendation I will make, not in further to create another committee, because I didn't see, because for 3 years we worked on that, and for that 3 years I knew how much time devoted into getting that job done. But the Remo Forum was actually created out of the fact that we were then very, very conscious of what, and we don't want our name substitute. Yeah. So if we don't want our name substitute, somebody somewhere must surrender. Must give, you must say, if there are two things between two people, and you want to have everything, and B should go without anything, I don't see how that can be happened. And that's why the agencies and the other committee felt, because we were all friends. Let's be frank with ourselves, right? There's nobody in Djibouti and also at Remo that who are within the elites that I don't know. I've worked with them for 30 years or 40 years. But I've been back in Shagamu as far back as 1984. So I know virtually everybody. So, and I know what everybody can do. So we can't sit down on a very flat except the Obas who are trying to, who then says, no, they can't have a shift. We will have a shift. We did have a shift. And our submission was also contained a shift at that time. So I'm sure that equally to, that is exactly what the new committee is also working on. That okay, if this is what we want, and this is what the community wants, like it's said in this document, there's no way. I'm sure OGD will also agree with me that we here we only have one vote. There's no way one vote of us can carry the whole community. So, but we will have to synthesize what's going on within our community. As a leader, you need to be able to do what is right and what you believe will serve to your community. That's why then I said, if you want a compromise, or if you want this matter to be settled, my word then was that let Akaribu and Awujale enter one room and come out with what you want us to do. Be clear, because at the end of the day, there is no committee. I can still repeat it tomorrow. Unless those two people agree, and then they're able to sell it to their community. And then I don't see you can create another committee tomorrow, create another one day after tomorrow, create another after. Such will all back
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well said. Remo, please.
Cabbages, distinguished cabbages, Your Excellency, my brother, my friend, I was just, as you spoke, I cast my mind back to when we first met. And I said to myself, we've come a long way. And as I heard you speak, I was quite impressed with the things you said. And I heard you right. I've also heard many things have been said about reports what happened in the body. But those reports notwithstanding, I want to say something to you. I want to plead with you. To play the role that you should play, that you promised us today to play. But when it comes to it, let your role speak for us. You're not the most special as you're there. You're not there. I don't even know whether they will create states. If they do create states, the word was there. So that will stay to the bank and they would stand by it. Because you said something that again was quite incisive. That you became governor as the son of Remo. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes.
So and I know the role I played during those years of fighting for that position. And so I'm happy that again you reminded us that you play the role you have to play. And I'm sure that because we don't have anybody else from Remo to the National Assembly. You're the only one we have there. You are our eyes, National Assembly. You are our everything else. And so we look up to you representing the text. Seriously. That when it matters the most, you would stand by us. And I've known it to be one of your work. The other point that has been made is one of the guys who can be a repetition. That some of us are married. Some of us have wives from the body. I'm not sure I'm looking around to see if there are some of us who have wives from the body. So we're one. We're family. We're not just friends. Actually, I don't talk so friends. I'm saying that even amongst the Jews, there are some of us who are married who have living wives. Am I right? So I'm looking to my left here. I didn't mean to mention it. So, Excellency, we're one, and I'm sure you, of course, as well have clear. So I want to thank you again for coming today. And I don't think you're caught anywhere when you said, I don't think you're caught any. We know where your heart is. We know your heart. We know your heart because you're not caught in any yes, you said it by grace of God. But we know where you stand. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. We know where you stand. You're not playing both sides. No way. You are playing the side you should play as a son of God. Am I right? Yes. So that's my point. So when I say, you are caught very easily.
Jerry, be wise.
I know where you are. You are with us. So because when people say, it's not just happens that the first press conference was in Djibouti. If we had it here first, we know where we would have said, oh yes, it's me. But as a second, we know where you stand. And we have no doubt at all that at the end of the day, we shall all smile and thank the Lord. But
That's smile.
Yes, we will smile. That's what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Good talk. I think we are rounding up now. There are no other comments or questions? Can we request Prince Abayomi to please assist to appreciate everybody? This press conference was called for 1 o'clock. Some people have been here 12:30, especially TLS has got here 12 o'clock. And he has waited 3.5 hours. So Prince, please.
Kábíyèsí o.
Of course.
I don't want to say it. My chairman of the State Creation Committee from Remo, our Baba, our GGG, I greet you.
Thank you.
Our distinguished Senator, Otumba Adrengadane, I greet you. I assure you, of Remo Kingdom, I greet you.
That's right, your voice all.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press, I thank you for coming. What's the lunch? Once again, I apologize for the start, which was really not designed. I'm sure a lot of you saw us, especially the committee members who were here right on time. But for what happened on the express, which could not be helped, it has to be delayed. We thank you very much for coming, and we will appreciate you give us a good coverage on this matter. We want things to be distorted. That will appreciate very much. For other distinguished leaders of thought in Shagamu, in Remo land, who have come from far and wide, we thank you very much, and wish you journey mercy to your respective homes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ẹjọ tí bí dẹ́ bá lọ, ẹ bá wọn yọ sọ.
Ọ̀dà.
Ẹ bá mi sọ pé tí bí dẹ́ bá lọ, ẹ bá wọn sọ.
Now, yeah.